Hello, today we are going to focus on analysis of Apple Incorporated. Of course, we all know the famous company as just Apple. We will be going over our executive brief that outlines Apple's current overview, problems, and strategic recommendations for its sustainable growth. First off is the company overview. We all recognize Apple as an instinctive search image in the technology world as one of the leading tech companies known for its innovation, its aesthetic, and seamless device integration. By being a leading tech company, it provides a multitude of competitive advantages when compared to others in the same market. Its products include iPhones, iPads, MacBooks, which is their laptop line, Apple Watches, amongst other products and services. Apple creates values through brand loyalty, product innovation, and adaptability between devices, which enhance the user experience and creates customer loyalty. This interconnectivity drives repeat purchases and keeps Apple customers hooked and locked in as loyal customers. This strategy has built immense brand loyalty and high positioning in its global market. So, what are Apple's core problems? Apple faces a couple problems that we will further get into the next couple slides, starting with strong competition and high prices. Strong competition, high prices. Despite its dominance in the market, Apple comes across multiple problems. One of them being competition with strong competitors like Microsoft, Google, Samsung, who provide people with a frequent ongoing line of products with much more affordable prices compared to Apple, which is another problem in itself, because by providing high prices, Apple runs into the risk of losing price sensitive customers. Supply chain risks. So, Apple relies on manufacturing in China and other places in Asia, which can be delayed or stalled based on geopolitical tensions, trade issues, and global disruptions like the pandemic. Privacy concerns. Apple's privacy and security standards have been held high by the company and have assured customers that their information is secured. Its reputation on protecting customer data holds pressure against Apple and having to constantly upgrade its security measures to protect consumer information. This is necessary because if there were to be a data breach of some sort, the high standard will be broken and damage the customer trust. Sustainable pressures. With this aggressive competitiveness, it really comes down to the nitty gritty details from the products to then convince customers to purchase from Apple. One of these things is sustainable design. This can be anywhere from recycled and renewable materials. Consistently maintaining and scaling these efforts is difficult, especially when it comes down to pricing, as sourcing eco-friendly materials can sometimes be pricey or expensive, which relates to the product itself when it comes to selling it to the customer. Innovation, pressures, and limited product lines. Since Apple has been setting a high standard for products since the beginning, it's been under constant pressure to innovate. This had led innovators to and customers awaiting the next big thing, but sometimes they get underwhelmed when expectations are not met. So limited product line. Apple has a limited product line where its main revenue is only coming from the iPhone. So this makes the company vulnerable if their market preference shift shifts or a competing technology becomes dominant. So, how can we fix these problems and what recommendations do we have? So, we put together a list of recommendations that we will be going over in a couple slides and starting with a tiered product pricing model. Apple should adopt a more budget conscientious tiered product pricing model. While premium products will remain affordable, alternatives should be marketed more aggressively in emerging markets, like in regions such as Africa, India, and Asia to expand to customers. This will allow Apple to compete directly with lower cost brands while maintaining brand prestige or brand image. Diversifying product revenue, over reliance on only the iPhone is very risky. Apple should increase investments in other services, and start home devices possibly. Um, Expanding into health tech and AI tools will provide new revenue streams, reduce vulnerability, and reinforce Apple's image as an innovator beyond smartphones. Localized supply chain. To mitigate risks, Apple must diversify its manufacturing base beyond China. Expanding production in countries like India and Vietnam will build supply chain resilience, especially in a world increasingly affected by geopolitical and environmental disruptions. Double down on privacy. Customers' trust is Apple's greatest asset. Apple should continue leading in data privacy, exceeding regular standards, and providing consumer with clear, transparent data policies. This commitment will strengthen its competitive edge as privacy becomes more important worldwide. And of course, it's very important to the consumer itself. Up next, we have commit to sustainability. While Apple uses recycled materials and runs refurbish programs, it should release annual sustainability scorecards and reports, which will educate consumers about their role in reducing e waste. Educating consumers and being transparent with them about its environmental practices will position Apple as a sustainability leader and win over eco conscientious consumers, if not yet had. Up next, we have community and educational incentives. Sorry, going back, innovation upgrades. Innovation must go beyond minor upgrades. Apple should focus on a research and development on battery life, interoperability, and augmented reality experiences. Launching groundbreaking products will keep consumers engaged and re-energized for Apple's new products and Apple's image as a tech pioneer itself. Community and educational initiatives. Apple's global presence gives it the chance to make a greater societal impact, expanding programs that promote digital literacy, support schools, and offer student discounts not only increase brand equity, but also create lifelong Apple users. Moving forward with the strategic vision forward, to remain a market leader, Apple must balance brand integrity and adaptability by addressing what we had mentioned, the pricing, product diversification, supply chain, sustainability, and innovation. Apple can future proof its business and success. Expansion into areas like the healthcare, wearables, educational technology can further elevate the brand. I know that it's been seeping in through markets or industries like that, like the education and healthcare, where devices from Apple can be applied to have effective decision making on their companies or organizations being ran. And this concludes our presentation that has given you a clear understanding of Apple's current position. the challenges it has faced or faces, and the opportunities that can be worked on to make Apple as successful as can be in the fast changing market. Thank you.